Hey guys, welcome back to Malcolex. I'm doing a full Spider-Man read-through, and as you may have guessed by my props today we're going to be checking out the Amazing Spider-Man number 2. This is another double feature issue here, and with the first story, we got Spider-Man Duel to the Death with the Vulture. On this issue, no cover by Jack Kirby this time. This is all Steve Ditko and Stan Lee, with lettering by John Duffy and art Simon. And this came out in February of 1963. So, of course, first appearance of the Vulture, and then in the second part, or the second story to this issue, you have the first appearance of the Tinkerer. So hopping right in here, we have iconic things. Of course, Peter getting roasted by his classmates. That's typical. It's been in every issue so far. I'm assuming that's going to continue. And then we have here it's kind of like initial idea to become a photographer. That's pretty cool. And then pretty funny of the times. And again, it kind of reminds me of like a Saturday morning cartoon. He has the idea to become a photographer, gets home, and immediately Aunt May is just like, "Hey, I found this camera. I'd like to give it to you." And he's like, "What? Perfect timing." But then moving on, we have the Vulture here. You know, he's just plotting to steal diamond money jewels. No real motivations other than just kind of getting rich. So nobody knows how he flies. He's just kind of going around baffling everyone. Spidey gets wind of this happening from his classmates and them talking about it earlier in the issue. He goes out and finds him, and then a couple other things. So the Vulture, in his plan, oh no, there goes the Vulture. But in his plan here, he decides to start leaving threats, leaving notes, and he throws this note into the police station, and they immediately respond with, "The Vulture has never failed to carry out a threat yet. But we must go ahead with the transfer of the diamonds. We can't let the city think that one criminal can make us change our plans." That's just hilarious. I don't know. You couldn't rethink anything with that. And then here we have Vulture shoving Spider-Man into a water tower. That is just the funniest way they could possibly draw that, with him dangling by his feet. And then testing Spidey's strength. The way he gets out is just crazy. Swimming to the bottom, just doing a jump and going all the way through the water, up through the hatch of the water tower. Very impressive. You have him creating the web gadget belt. That's always cool to see. And let's see what else I got here. Hmm. Here we go. Ah, yeah. Just his first interactions with Jonah, just hilarious. He's immediately like, "Listen, you cannot ask me any questions. You can't include my name. I'm just gonna give you these pictures, and you're just gonna have to be impressed." And Jonah's like, "All right, works for me." Another sign of the times here. I love that they call it a whirlybird. What a great name for a helicopter. And of course, the police think they're going to get away with it. They're expecting a attack from the top, and Vulture comes from the sewer. Smart guy there, catches him off guard. Spider-Man catches up with him, uses a little device that he created, disables the suit, and then the issue kind of rounds off with the Vulture just being in prison in full costume with his wings. Couldn't end in a better way. And also, just from this one event, Peter goes ahead and pays rent for a full year. Must be nice. And then moving on to the second story, second part of the issue, Tinker. This one's just a little bit shorter, and this was just fun. He agrees to help a college professor. He asks for a favor to pick up a radio, stops at the radio store. Immediately, Spider Sense goes off. This dude has a whole little like laboratory of aliens going on down below. They're implanting spy devices across the world to get military secrets. Peter initially is just like not bothered at all by the fact that there are just aliens everywhere, does not even comment about it. No, and I didn't even mention, but in this first part of the second story, where he's with his classmates, he's of course getting roasted again, at least twice. Flashes in there, making fun of him. And where's this one line? Yeah. The Tinker looks about as dangerous as a second-hand pink cream puff. Couldn't have possibly put it better. But yeah, Spuddy eventually figures out what's going on. He fights the aliens. The lab gets set on fire. It's just a fun little story. It does this cool diagram, though, of the web cartridges and how all of that works. That's just neat to see. And like I've said in the past issues, the art in these books is just so iconic, regardless of how old it is. It's very like timeless, and it's not like perfect, but it's very quirky. It's just fun to look at, and just kind of rounding out that short little story. It was a fun one. This was a fun issue overall, definitely. Like I wouldn't say there's any complaints. I would say the first two were a bit better, but I did enjoy the story with the Vulture. I would say I would give this like a 7 out of 10 issue. But yeah, it's great. Excited to keep reading. Again, reading this from the Penguin Classics Marvel Collection. If you want to check one of these out, just has Amazing Fantasy 15, and then the first few issues of Amazing Spider-Man. All right, guys, have a good one. See you next time.